Is pinching and gripping in your hips stopping you from getting your leg as high as you want? Then this episode is for you. How's it going, artistic athlete? Dr. Scott here, and I'm going to break down what is actually going on, or most likely going on, when you're feeling this gripping or pinching sensation and what you can do about it. And then at the end, we'll also go through a few specific exercises to give you some ideas to start making progress today. Let's first start with the gripping sensation and what's actually going on there. Now I will say, for the most part, gripping is the same as a muscle cramp. As that muscle is working, it tightens up on you, and then as you relax out of that position, it relaxes as well. There is some confusion sometimes about what gripping actually is. So just feeling your muscle working, getting sore, achy, getting tired, does not qualify as gripping. Feeling muscles up here, hopefully you know from the last episode, is actually important, and you need those muscles to work. So just feeling muscles working is not gripping and is not a bad thing. So as we said, gripping is the muscle cramping up on you. So I'm going to explain the three things that most likely are causing that gripping sensation. Number one, if you're asking the body to do more than it's capable of, your body's natural protective mechanism is to kind of tighten up. I mean, just kind of think, if someone jumps out and scares you, do you relax or do you tighten up? Your body just tightens up in fear. When your body is kind of stiff, it can handle things that happen. There are cases this works against you, but in this case, if you're trying to hold a leg up or lift your leg up and the muscles are getting too tired, so the leg's it feels like it's gonna fall. If the body didn't cramp up, the risk could be you actually pull or strain that muscle. So your body's kind of mechanism there is to tighten up, protect yourself from a potential pull or strain. Not saying it feels good, it's just what can happen when you overdo what your body's capable of. This doesn't mean you just need to take a rest. What this means is if that's the case, that it only happens as you start to get tired, and then if you relax, it kind of calms back down. What you want to do in this case is actually build up that endurance and stamina of that muscle outside of dance. You want to spend a little time finding ways to engage that muscle, focus on getting the endurance. That doesn't mean you have to do the same height either. So even if you're working below your max leg height, you could still be building up endurance. As you build up that endurance, as you build up your stamina, your body is going to get more and more capable of holding the leg in those positions you want, and you're going to have less of that gripping sensation. Okay, I lied about showing you the exercises at the end. I want to show you right now what I mean to help work this mid-range. So let's say you can easily get your leg to 90 degrees, but as you get up there, it starts to grip on you a lot. You might simply practice, can I just hold my leg a little lower and hold it for time? And if you say, oh, that's too low, can you hold it a little higher? Can you find a position and try to hold it for 10, 15, 20 seconds? You might feel near the end similar gripping sensation. That's okay. Take a break, practice it again. You can do that a few times, and that can lead to building endurance over time, over the course of a week or two. Another fun way to do that, take a loop band or tie a band in a loop, place it over your feet, and pull it up. Now I'm challenging balance a little bit, but I'm also working not as high and not the whole weight of my leg, and I can pull it up and just hold. If this is boring, holding that for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, here's an exercise you could do to just mix it up a little bit. I'm gonna add a band in the door or looped around something strong. I'm gonna do my march hold, and then I'm gonna row just to get my arm and back and shoulder muscles. As I'm doing that march hold, at whatever position is comfortable. That's not necessarily for your hips, but it's just an exercise you can do while you're building that endurance in your hips. The second thing that could be causing that gripping sensation is if you're relying on only one muscle or the incorrect muscle to do most of the work for you. As we talked about in our last episode, those deep hip flexors are very important. Please check that out if you're wondering why. Or if you want all the details for this 4-part series about getting your leg higher, there should be a link in the bottom for you to sign up to a 4-part email series. Check it out and hopefully you enjoy. So if we're not getting those muscles, maybe we're relying on the quad too much, or we're only getting this TFL muscle out on the side, that can grip for you too. The problem is that it's not getting any support. So we don't want you to think about turning that muscle off, not feeling that muscle. Definitely not. You need those muscles. You want them all working so your leg goes as high as possible. What you need to do is back up, find the correct muscles, get them working on their own, and then see if you can start to recruit them when you're in dance as well. That video to explain how to do that will be in our last episode or last email. Or if you sign up for that list, it'll come to you. And lastly, gripping can happen when your body is unaccustomed to the position you're in. So let's say it's a new exercise for you, or it's a new technique, or you've been working on your hip extensions a lot and you're noticing your leg is getting higher and higher, and now it starts to grip as you get higher and higher. That can simply be your body is not used to working in these higher positions, and it goes back to the same as the first step. We need to give your body time to adjust. We need to get it used to that position so it builds up the strength and control to hold it there. What we really like to help you kind of get that control and get used to working in those higher leg positions is taking other parts of your body out. So we're usually trying not to balance. We're trying not to worry about posture. We're simply working on the leg position, and we're just lifting it as high as it can and bringing it back down. No holds, but controlled. And as it gets comfortable, you'll start to add those holds. As that gets easier and easier, you'll start to add back in the balance, the actual dance technique. Okay, so separate from the dance for a little while. Find the positions that help get your leg comfortable there, the right exercise that you feel, but don't cause gripping. Give that some time, then start to add back in all the dance moves, and it's going to come together so well for you in your dance class or rehearsals. Alright, what if your muscles aren't really gripping up on you, but you're feeling a lot of pinching in your hip? One little caveat here is there are some actual damage, injury things that could be going on that could be causing pinching. So what I'm talking about here in this video is if it just gives you a little pinching, it's a little uncomfortable, it's not stopping you from dancing, it's not causing you pain all day. If you're having pinching that's giving you more problems, it's time to reach out to a dance medicine specialist like us, someone who can find out what's actually going on and make sure we are correcting that, helping you to get rid of that pain, okay? If you're having this kind of pain, please, even from people like me who specialize in this, don't take general advice on the internet, because it is not made for you specifically. This is the most common cases. When you're having more serious things, you need more serious help. Please comment if you need any help, either seeing us or help finding a dance medicine specialist for you. We do offer sessions online or in person in the Tampa Bay area. Now, let's dig into the general pinching issues. Alright, so you're having pinching if you start to lift it, or if you get it to a certain height, what could be going on? What I've been seeing most commonly is actually instability. So, to kind of picture this, your leg bone enters into your pelvis bone. The pelvis is kind of like a cup. The leg bone comes in like a little ball. And if that is moving, so you have a lot of flexibility, maybe like you're like, I can easily do splits, or I've been going into over splits a lot. Things like that can loosen up that socket. If we don't have enough strength and control to hold it in place, it can actually slide, moving around in its socket, and it can hit, and it can pinch, either pinching against the bone, or just some of the structures are jamming up in there, and that can give you that pinching sensation. So, we need to work on the hip stability. What we commonly focus on there is we start with making sure we are engaging your glutes. I combined the word there, I should try to trademark that. We want to make sure your big glute muscle is working. We're usually starting this in parallel, not in your max height. We're trying to get all the muscles engaged, build that stability before we start adding turnout or higher leg lifts. Now, once you're able to feel your glute and you've got some good exercises, some warm-ups, some things you're doing to kind of pre-engage, get that working before you get into your dance, you don't want to stop there. You want to make sure you are coming through and helping the stability of the front of the hip. We're helping the inner thighs work. We want all those muscles working to help control the hip. As we start to work into your inner thigh, this is one of my favorite exercises to do. Find something stable to hold on to. Anchor a band either in a door jamb, tie it to something sturdy that won't pull over, have a friend hold it, get up nice and tall, let your leg come out, and pull it in. This is nice because it allows you to control the flexibility a little bit. You can focus on coming higher up in the front if it's feeling good. You can focus on stepping further away and training your leg further out to the side. You can add holds. You can even mix in balance if it starts to get too easy. But it's a really good one to help start feeling both inner thighs working, co-activation with your posture. Okay, and for working the hip flexor, we want to actually practice your control lowering your leg. You might be like, why am I starting this position? On a yoga block is only necessary if you're able to get really far, but I'll just demonstrate it that way. So I have a band or a belt or something. We're going to practice lowering my leg, not using my hand until it starts to feel uncomfortable. Then I'm going to stop. Pull it up with my hand. Sometimes that coming up motion can still cause some of that pinching. So then I kind of ease off on my hand, let the leg lower slowly, feel the muscles, go as far as you're comfortable with, and pull it up. This other leg holding up just helps to get your pelvis in the position we want. As I start to feel anything uncomfortable, pull it back up. Let it come down. This is one if it's super easy and you can get all the way with good control. You can add an ankle weight. You can start actually doing the up portion on your own. But I do want to make sure you are controlling it and not just letting it drop. We want that controlled motion as far as comfortable. And one of the other major things we see in pinching, same idea of what's happening, but it might not be because of a ton of instability in the joint. It could actually be because you lack control of your pelvis. So if you tend to fall into this position, or you notice your hip rocks a lot when you're doing leg lift, it's not moving in the positions that you want, or it's moving in positions you're not trying to make it move in, that control could cause your hips to angle down so that it hits that bone as you try to lift. In that case, we're going to step away from the hips and we're going to put a little more focus on the low back. The low back and your pelvis are really linked. That's why when we're doing core work, we're not looking for just crunches or how long you can hold a plank. We're looking for what you feel and how your technique is. If you're feeling the low back muscles working, you're not getting what we want in most of our core exercises. We want to focus on getting that flat lower back, being able to control that, and once you can do that, start adding leg movements, arm movements, and then bring it back into your dance. Hopefully you found this informative and helpful for you, giving you a few ideas on what's going on with that gripping and pinching and what you can do to start overcoming it so your dance is more effortless and your legs are going higher and higher. Please feel free to subscribe, like, and if you want more like this, specifically on lifting your leg, we do have a 4-part series you can sign up for below, or sign up for our email list to get our weekly emails on all things dancer conditioning, strengthening, mobility, and safety. I'm Dr. Scott, and I'll see you next time.